is a piece of advice that I give people is utilize the movie crew mindset. Envision, whether fake it for a week. That's the test I always tell people. Fake it for a week. Pretend there's a movie crew that's following you from the second your alarm goes off to the second your head hits the pillow. And that's the movie. Like, if you watch that movie back, are you proud of that person?
What's up? Welcome back to the Goal Line Podcast. I'm Jake Fine.
And I'm Braxton Cave. In today's quick hitter episode, we are going to hit on leading by example. And, before we jump into this one, I got to give a quick special shout out to Andrew, finally joining us.
Andrew James.
For a podcast episode, coming right off of baseball practice. So pretty cool that he's able to join us and listen in. He hasn't yelled at us yet.
Past his bedtime, too.
Saying anything that we shouldn't. So
past his bedtime.
It's past my bedtime.
Our bedtime.
So
let's dig in.
I'm going to go right into this. So for me, leading by example, my example is the only thing in my life that I can control. And to me, I truly take that to heart, and that's I probably obsess over setting a standard. And trust me, there's good and bad to that.
Oh yeah.
There's times when my wife lets me know when I'm getting a little too far out of control. She's got to, pull me back a little bit. But it's so critical to me of the example that I set. And the first, bullet I'll hit on here is when it comes to parenting. Mm-hmm. And in parenting, more is caught than taught. And I see it every day with my kids. Especially Copeland, my middle, he's like my little mini me in all the best and worst ways. And there's times when I very quickly, it's like watching film, how I react, and then it plays back right to me with the way that I'll see how he'll respond to his siblings or how he talks to the dog, right? That's been a new one in our household with a new dog. And I'm like, man, that's coming straight from me. And so to me, it's a good reminder of my example and how I approach every day. From a business perspective, I'm a true believer in business, and you can relate it to other things as well. But to me, in business, you cannot effectively lead others until you can effectively lead yourself. Mm-hmm. And I see it all the time with people who, they come to me and, they want to have one-on-ones and talk through, hey, what's my career path? I really want to be a leader. And I look at them and I'm like, how do you approach the day? Walk me through your routine. And they're like, oh, I get up and I drink a cup of coffee and then I just come into work. And I'm like, what about nighttime? What do you do at nighttime? Well, I hustle home to take care of the kids and then, sit on the couch and watch Netflix or something, and then I go to bed.
Pull a bowl of Saratoga water.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, but at what point do you work on you? Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, I really don't get a chance to do that while I'm at work. And I'm like, well, none of us do. If you want to be able to lead people, you got to be able to lead yourself to another level. And that happens outside of work hours. The company's not paying you to sit here and, work on yourself, right? We're working on our craft while we're here. But the real magic happens, right, in those lonely hours where it's just you. And then, the last thing I'll hit on here, and this is a piece of advice that I give people, is utilize the movie crew mindset. Envision, whether fake it for a week. That's the test I always tell people. Fake it for a week. Pretend there's a movie crew that's following you from the second your alarm goes off to the second your head hits the pillow. And that's the movie. If you watch that movie back, are you proud of that person? in what they did each day and how they approached each day and how they, the things that they did when nobody was watching, that's where the true test comes.
Yeah.
And I want to say Rogan or somebody mentioned this on a podcast a long time ago, and that one really stuck with me, because there's days where, I find myself pretending that I'm on call it a reality TV show, call it what you want. But like I do things to a standard as if someone's watching. And, I've said this to you in the past, like I often do that. Like I lost my grandfather last year, who was a huge influence in my life, like the hardest worker, big time blue collar guy, worked 2 jobs like his whole life. And, with him in heaven, looking down, I'm like, would he be proud of how I'm working, how I'm going after this day? Like I think about stuff like that, and it's maybe that's taking it to another level for some people, but it's a true like daily motivator for me, and that's to me that's not external, that's an internal motivation that I have every single day. So I would say, be the hero of your story.
Yeah, you're the writer.
That's right.
So, my first point, actions speak louder than words. I know a lot of people have heard that. If you want people to follow your lead, whether it's your team, family, community, you have to show them, not just tell them. You can preach discipline and then slack off. You can't expect hard work from others if you don't give it yourself. They see everything. Jackie's son sees everything. He is like her carbon copy, and they're like exactly alike. He does the same thing, same antics that she does. They see everything. It's unbelievable, and I know your kids do the same with you. But going into leadership, you spoke on this. It's not about the title. It's about the impact, and your choices, your actions. It creates the ripple effect, and the way you carry yourself, the effort you put in, the energy you bring, it all influences everybody that's watching you, that's around you. It's just like, I'll just use work, for example. If you see a person that's consistently late, 5 to 10 minutes, they're like, okay, that guy's always late, but they're not getting on him. Oh, I guess I can do that too. It's a ripple effect, and everybody's going to follow suit what they do. If he can get away with it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, integrity, isn't about being great when people are looking. It's about who you are when you aren't. And like you're a great leader. You build others up. If your leadership is only about you, you're doing it wrong. It's like I want to see everybody else win. If everybody had that same mindset and wanted to see everybody else win, this country would not be in the situation that it is right now. Everybody against each other and the hate and all that. But yeah, that's my points, short and sweet,
I think another key piece when you're in leading by example is I think humility plays such a big role in it. And, to be able to admit when you're wrong and take feedback. And I've struggled with that at times of like, you feel like you're pouring everything in and doing everything right, and then to get feedback that you're totally missing, like that's hard. That's a hard pill to swallow at times. I'm currently reading a really good book called The First 90 Days. And
who wrote that?
I'm blanking on it.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on it.
I've heard of it though.
But
I just can't think of
it's an incredible book, and it's what I love is it's broken out to give you like actionable steps to take as you're, whether you're taking on a new leadership position or you're moving into a new company or a new role. It gives you like defined action items to take. But another piece in it is it gives you, some of the best, the best practice or the best steps. And in that, I have written so many notes of like me looking back as I've taken on different roles of where, I could have done that better. Like, I fell right into that trap. I did. And I think that's okay, all right, because you're learning as you go. But those are the mistakes that I don't want to make as I continue to move on and grow.
Mm-hmm.
And so being able to, reflect and actually absorb that, I think is a big part of leadership and leading by example, is showing others like, I don't have all the answers,
Mm-hmm.
and being okay with that and learning from others.
Yep.
And then I think that you said it, building others up. I think the greatest accomplishment you can have as a leader and leading by example is seeing those who you have led, continue to grow, whether that's your kids, or people on your team, whether that's in sports or work. Watching them grow and take their next steps, I think the coolest part of
you're setting them up. So, and they're going to set their people up too. So, like I said, it's a ripple effect. So, in closing, you got to ask yourself, are you truly leading by example? Are your actions matching your words? Are you raising the standard for yourself and those around you? If you want to be a leader, it starts with you. It's as simple as that. You got to set the tone and go all in, with everything. So, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
If you guys got some value out of this or have any questions, reach out, tag us. Love getting the feedback from you guys, and it's very valuable to us, but then also hopefully we're adding value to you. So.
And we have a guest coming up.
We do have a guest coming up.
Yep.
Totally different background and story than Nick, who was our prior guest. Really looking forward to this one. I think you guys will get a story of tragedy and how he worked through that and being on the front lines of that tragedy. Crazy story, but a great human, someone who I learn from every day when I'm around him, and I've had the privilege of being able to work close to his side for close to the last 10 years. So that's coming.
I'm stoked for that one too. All right, we'll see you on the next one.
See y'all.